Goals in the final minutes always evoke special emotions. Victory can be achieved in various ways, but when it happens like this, it feels much sweeter. Today, once again, I will tell you about some of the most iconic goals scored at the last moment. I wish everyone a great video. The second leg of the 2018-19 Champions League semi-final between Ajax and Tottenham can be considered one of the most dramatic matches in the tournament's history. At halftime, the Amsterdam team was leading at home with an aggregate score of 3-0, which meant the Spurs needed to score 3 goals to advance to the final on the away goals rule. In the first 15 minutes of the second half, Moura scored twice, bringing the score to 3-2. But over the next 35 minutes, Tottenham couldn't get the decisive goal. Then, in the 96th minute, the Spurs organized one last attack. After a pass from Dele Alli, Moura finished first time into the corner of the goal, completing his hat-trick and sending Tottenham to the Champions League final. The 2010 World Cup final between the Netherlands and Spain was extremely tense. During the 90 minutes of play, neither team managed to score, taking the match into extra time. At 25 minutes into extra time, everything indicated that the match would be decided by penalties. But then something unbelievable happened. After a poor clearance by the Dutch defense, the Red Furies midfielder Cesc, Fabregas intercepted the ball and delivered a perfect pass to Andrés Iniesta, who, with his second touch, finished precisely into the corner of the goal, securing Spain's first ever world title. And now I will show you 2 of the most important goals in the history of the Ukrainian and Russian national teams. In Euro 2020, Andriy Shevchenko's team faced Sweden in the round of 16. The 90 minutes were not enough to determine a winner, and the match went into extra time. For most of the extra time, Ukraine had an extra player due to the expulsion of Marcus Nielsen. But even so, they couldn't capitalize on the advantage until the 120th minute, leading the game to penalties. However, right in the first of the 3 additional minutes, forward Artem Dovbyk broke free after a cross from Zinchenko and with a precise header, put Ukraine into the Euro quarter-finals for the first time in history. In the 2018 World Cup held at home, the Russian national team faced Croatia in the quarter-finals. In the first half of extra time, defender Domagoj Vida scored with a header after a corner kick, and it seemed he had secured the victory for the Croatians. The Russian fans were the first to join the national team. Russians were already beginning to accept the elimination, but hope arose in the final minutes. At 115 minutes, Russia had a free kick in their favor. Alan Zagoev made the cross and Mário Fernandes appeared to save the team, heading the ball into the goal and taking the match to penalties. Unfortunately, in the post-game lottery for the semi-finals, Croatia came out on top and Fernandes was one of those who did not convert his kick. But if it weren't for that goal by Mario, many Russian fans would not have experienced all that excitement. At the end of the game, away against Leicester in the Premier League, Tottenham was losing 2-1. There were only 2 minutes left until the end of the match, and the Foxes already considered the victory certain. No one could imagine what was about to happen. The forward Stephen Kane, who had come off the bench, was no longer seen as an important player, and the club was trying to sell him as quickly as possible. But in the 95th minute, he appeared in the box to pick up a rebound and tie the game. And that wasn't all. Before the Leicester defenders could react, he appeared again face-to-face with the goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel and with a shot off the post and into the back of the net, secured an epic victory for the Spurs. If it weren't for those 3 points, Tottenham probably wouldn't have qualified for the Champions League that season. The 2012 Champions League final against Bayern Munich can be considered the pinnacle of the legendary Chelsea striker Didier Drogba's career. In the 88th minute, the Blues were losing 1-0, but then they won their first corner of the match. The Ivorian responded to Juan Mata's cross, and with a precise header, sent the ball into the back of Neuer's net. Just observe how much this goal meant to Drogba. The striker helped take the game into extra time and later converted the decisive penalty in the final shootout, securing Chelsea's first Champions League title in history. At 89 minutes into the Champions League semi-final return leg against Manchester City, Real Madrid was losing on aggregate 5-3 and needed 2 goals to force extra time. It was then that Rodrigo, coming off the bench, scored in the 90th minute, reigniting the hopes of the merengue fans. The referee added 6 minutes of stoppage time, but no one believed that Rio could turn the situation around. However, sensing blood, the merengues didn't stop there. Just 1 minute after the first goal, Rodrigo rose for a header following a cross from Carvajal and scored the second, driving the Santiago Bernabeu into a frenzy. The Brazilian forced extra time, where Real Madrid scored once more and secured their spot in the final. Now I want to ask you not to skip the next part of the video. The first part of this material was hidden and I can't just ignore it. I invite you to revisit some goals you've seen before. It's for emotions like these that it's worth watching again and again. In the round of 16 of the 2018 World Cup, Belgium was losing 2-0 to Japan in the last 20 minutes of the game, but managed to equalize in the final moments, thanks to the efforts of Vertonghen and Felipe. In the final seconds of the match, Roberto Martinez's team organized a lightning-fast counterattack. Kevin De Bruyne sent the ball to the right, where Thomas Meunier was, and Romelu Lukaku, already inside the area, cleverly let the ball pass to Nasser Chadli, who finished it into the goal. Half empty, and gave the Belgians an epic victory in the last play of the game. No less thrilling was the quarter-final clash of the 2012-13 Champions League between Borussia Dortmund and Malaga. In injury time, Jurgen Klopp's team needed to score 2 goals to advance to the next stage. At 91 minutes, Marco Reus equalized for the Black and Yellows. Aggregate score. But, due to the away goals rule, the Spaniards were still qualifying. However, just 1 minute and 17 seconds later, a true miracle happened. After a series of rebounds in the area, defender Felipe Santana pushed the ball into the goal, sending the fans at Signal Iduna Park into a frenzy. The 2016 UEFA Super Cup between Sevilla and Real Madrid was marked by an unbelievable ending. At the end of regular time, the Real Madrid defender Sergio Ramos scored against his former team, tying the match and taking the game into extra time. When everything indicated that the decision would be on penalties, another real defender stepped up, David Carvajal. At 119 minutes, the fullback made a spectacular run down the right and finished precisely in the corner, securing Real Madrid's victory. In the group stage of the 2018 World Cup, Spain and Portugal faced off in a memorable duel. In the first half, Cristiano Ronaldo scored twice, but that wasn't enough for his team, as the Red Fury was leading 3-2. In the final minutes, Portugal had a dangerous free kick, and of course Cristiano stepped up to take it. The Portuguese star made the most of the opportunity, and with a precise shot, placed the ball in the top corner, leaving the wall and goalkeeper David De Gea without a reaction. That goal in the final minutes was crucial for Portugal, because if they had lost that game, Iran would have advanced to the knockout stage instead of the Portuguese. The away game against West Bromwich in the final stretch of the 2021 season was extremely important for Liverpool. In the fight for the top 4 in the Premier League, the league's bottom team was holding on to a draw until the final moments. The corner kick in the 90th minute was the Reds' last chance to avoid a setback, and the hero turned out to be the player from whom a goal was least expected. Goalkeeper Alisson went up to the area and with a precise header secured 3 crucial points for his team. The 16-17 season remained forever in Lionel Messi's memory. In that game, the Merengues, even with 1 player down, managed to equalize in the 85th minute with a goal from James Rodrigo. But Messi had not yet had his final say. In stoppage time, the Argentine entered the area and finished in the corner, silencing the Santiago Bernabeu. The 2013 Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund was the second consecutive one for Bayern. After the painful defeat the previous year for Arjen Robben, this decision carried even more weight, as he had been one of the villains of the final against Chelsea. But this time, the Dutchman had his redemption. In the last seconds of the game, Robben got the ball inside the area and touched it past Weidenfeller, ensuring eternal glory for Bayern. The player's emotion made it clear how much that goal meant to him. The Scottish derby between Celtic and Rangers has always been marked by intense rivalry. In a crucial game for the title, the Teddy Bears desperately needed a victory in the final seconds. Rangers went all out into the opponent's area, creating true chaos. After a series of rebounds and a mistake by goalkeeper Arthur Borussia, the ball fell to Madrid. Eduque finished into the empty net and secured an exciting triumph for the Blues. The final round of the 2011-12 Premier League against QPR will never be forgotten by Manchester City fans. To win their first English title in 44 years, the citizens needed to secure 3 points at home, but they were losing 2-1 at 92 minutes, while Manchester United was winning in the parallel game. Yet the improbable happened somehow. Edin Dzeko equalized with a header after a corner, and shortly after, Sergio Agüero broke into the area and struck hard, beating Teddy Kenny and giving City a very thrilling title. The 2012-13 season ended without trophies for Manchester City, resulting in the dismissal of coach Roberto Mancini. But everything could have been different if the FA Cup final had followed a different script. At the end of the match, with the score at 0-0, Wigan's midfielder Ben Watson jumped higher than everyone else. After a corner with a header, he secured a historic trophy for his club. However, even with the FA Cup victory, Wigan was relegated from the Premier League that season, and to this day has not returned. Another crazy moment happened in the Champions League final. In '99, Manchester United was facing Bayern Munich at Camp Nou and was losing 1-0 at the 91st minute, but fate had other plans. After a corner, Teddy Sheringham equalized the game, taking the match into extra time. However, the story was not over yet. Just over a minute later, the Red Devils secured another corner, and this time the hero of the moment was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He deflected the ball from Sheringham into the net and secured United's second Champions League title. In the 2014 Champions League final, Real Madrid, in the Madrid derby against Atletico, could have won their 10th club tournament trophy. Most prestigious, but at the end of the match they were losing 1-0. A corner won in the final moments became almost the last hope of salvation. After Luka Modric's cross, Sergio Ramos made a heroic leap and equalized the score with a header. In extra time, the Merengue club scored 3 more unanswered goals and celebrated their 10th victory in the tournament. Midfielder Shunsuke Nakamura, playing for Celtic in a very important Scottish Championship match, scored a beautiful free-kick goal in the final minutes. The Japanese player, with a clever shot, left the opposing goalkeeper completely bewildered and scored the goal that secured another championship title for his team. The Champions League round of 16 match between PSG and Manchester United still evokes strong emotions among the fans of both teams. At the end of the return match, the Parisians were ahead on aggregate by 3-2. But United needed just 1 goal to advance to the next stage due to the away goals rule. In the final moments, the referee, after a review, awarded a penalty for a handball by Kimpembe. Marcus Rashford was tasked with taking the penalty and without difficulty beat Buffon, taking United to the Champions League quarter-finals for the first time in 5 years. Two years earlier, PSG had suffered a much more painful elimination in the tournament. In the same round of 16, the Parisians went into the return match against Barcelona at Camp Nou with a 4-0 lead after the home victory. By the end of the match, the Catalans were winning 3-1 and from the 80th minute needed to score 3 goals to advance to the quarterfinals. After a quick double by Neymar, the task already seemed possible. The fans until the last moment did not believe that such a miracle was possible, but against all odds, Sergi Roberto, after a cross from the middle, sent the ball to the back of the net and, literally, made Camp Nou explode, taking Barca to the next stage. The Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton in the 1920 season caused incredible emotions for Liverpool's coach Jurgen Klopp, and it's understandable why. In the final moments of the match, after a mistake by goalkeeper Pickford and a rebound off the post, striker Divock Origi appeared in the right place and sent the ball into the goal, empty, securing a very important victory for the Reds. The first leg of the Champions League quarter-finals between Barcelona and Roma ended with an impressive victory for the Catalans by 4-1, so for the return leg, the Romans were practically considered eliminated. However, by the end of the match, Roma was leading 2-0 and was 1 goal away from advancing to the next stage. After a corner kick, Manolas scored the goal his team needed. The Greek headed the ball into Barcelona's net and, for the first time in history, took Roma to the semi-finals of the tournament. Goals in the final minutes are always a joy for some, but a tragedy for others. These games are the ones that remain most memorable, and we want to relive them time and again, even decades later. As you may have noticed, I couldn't include all such goals in a single video. But if you want to see a second part, leave it in the comments. Well, folks, this was today's video if you've watched up to this point. I ask you to comment on what you thought of the video. Once again, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to support our work. That's it, and I'm out.